This is one of the most common ways to get it in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So from my perspective, it's one of the easiest positions to explain it from. So the most very basic armbar setup here is, you get a sleeve grip, you go across to the elbow or to the gi here. This has to go across here, right? And then of course, you get the rest of the business there for the armbar. But what I want to focus on right now is this elbow placement. I can't get an armbar from here. All right, I need that elbow to be at or past the center line. If I get here, we can make an armbar work from here. The best, of course, is all the way over here. This is, of course, the best. Now, this helps to break his posture and his elbows so far across where I don't even really need to worry about the elbow at all. I just gotta keep things tight, and then I can end up over here. It's difficult in my experience and watching others roll, because the armbar is such a basic technique. Most people know when you're going like this, they know that you're trying to get here, so they'll do everything to keep that elbow on that side, which is of course the smart thing to do. You don't want someone else controlling you like this. And if they do get you like this, one thing he would want to do is posture straight up. It's just to sit, yeah. If he just postures straight up and I can't get him down, he has more power now and leverage to really pull this arm out. So I'm not going to be able to control. So there's two things that I need to focus on: elbow at or past the center line of my body, and his posture. Okay, so when we're here, we're never going to be able to use our arm muscle, very rarely to use our arm muscle to overpower that arm. But what we can do is combine that with our legs. So as I'm up here and I'm pulling this across, I'm going to pull in with my legs. Helps to break the posture. Now you can grab a lapel, or in no gi, which we do in our club a lot, you would just grab the head. But for you guys, I guess it's easier to, once you're here, try and grab a lapel and then break the posture as best you can. You want to control their posture. That's most of the battle in guard, is posture. They want good posture, I want to break the posture. Okay. So once you're in here and you got the arm secured and down and this posture is broken, now it's a matter of going on the hip, coming here. Okay. This is a detail a lot of people forget with early arm bars, is they'll go here, then they'll go here. And there's no movement with this leg. If I bring this leg, if this leg stays here, it's not really doing much. If this leg comes here, it's helping to control his posture. Okay? Now I can push the head away, or maybe I don't even need to push the head away. I can just come around here, and this goes down. Okay? What's something that a lot of people do here also is to cross their feet. We're not going to cross our feet. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to focus on downward pressure, knees tight. Okay? With this leg here, you can even flare out your knee to the top of the head a bit more. It makes it even worse for them, for the posture. Because if I'm here, you can at least look up a little bit. Yeah. If I go flare out, now it's going to be much harder for him to get up. Okay? But one thing that's not changing during all of that is the downward pressure. So even if I were to let go of everything, there should be enough downward pressure on this person from my legs where I don't need to worry about my hands. That's the ideal situation. Of course, there's a lot of fighting and squirming, so you always want to keep the control. But those are some of the things we're focusing on there. Is that too hard? Okay, so let's go through the details one more time. So here, you're going to get some sort of wrist lapel or wrist sleeve control. You're coming across. As you're pulling, you're also pulling in with the legs. Okay, so it's two pulls, that pull and this pull. Okay, so it's here, and then, yeah, if it were me, I would just grab here. Yeah, I don't use gi as much as I used to. Yeah, you can just grab gi here if not. Of course, it's better if you grab the lapel in here. Okay. Next, foot on the hip, here. Next, I need to get my head to a 45-degree angle. So some people will try to do the armbar where they're just like, oh yeah, look, you see how my head hasn't really moved much? Yeah, you can maybe get an armbar from there, but if you really want to focus on the technique and not just like luck, then you're gonna want to get here and you're gonna want to pivot here, here. Oh yeah, you should be able to pick my nose. Some people get really confused when they're doing this and they're like, yeah, armbar. Well, that's the wrong way. Yeah, so we're here, everything's down tight. Here on the hip. If you don't have the flexibility to get this all the way up here, you can put it on the mat. It's fine, it'll work, but there's more control here. There's more squeezing involved, you're on the person, yeah?
My arm too.
Yeah, that's true, and you're blocking the arm from moving that way. So I really want to focus on the pivot now. It's pivot with the leg coming up. Here, here. Okay? Now that we're here, if you need to, you can push the head away, bring this around and down. I can't focus enough on this. Some people do like this. Some people don't really put down at all. They just kind of like let their legs trying to chill here and then they're all worried about this. You need that posture breaking pressure. Flare. Both hands on the arm here. Down, down, knees together. Well, knees together minus the flare. And then just slowly bring your hips up. Most of that should be refresher, yeah? For you guys? So what we're gonna start off doing is just grabbing a partner and just very slowly going through, making sure we hit all of those details. One at a time, no need to rush. We got a speed drill that we're gonna do later where you can focus on the speed. This is not the time to focus on the speed, it's time to focus on the details and the pressure. Person being armbarred, if you feel like they're not putting enough pressure down, or there's not enough leg squeeze, or their grip sucks, just mention it. Be like, hey, I really feel like you're not controlling here. Oh, okay, yeah, that's better, cool. You know, and kind of work each other like that. So what I want you to do is just grab your partner, and I want you to do 10, so that's 5 arm bars to each side. Nice and slow, going through the details. Remember, don't break the partner's arm, nice and easy on the actual application. Focus on the details and took our time to try to make the steps right, you know. Here, 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 flare, 2 hands on 1, yeah? But now what we're gonna do is, we're gonna do a speed drill. So it's gonna be very different from that. So I usually start with one slow armbar, but now that I'm here, you grab the other hand, grab the lapels if you want, and now we're just gonna swing back and forth like a pendulum here. Every time, keeping the arm in. Here, armbar if I want it. Here, armbar, also same thing. What I want us to do when we're doing the speed drill is when I don't want you to get here and then just kind of like stop right here. You're not really drilling anything with your feet or with pressure. So I want you to get this and then release to swing. And pressure. And pressure. Make sense? So, grab the partner. I'm gonna put some time on the clock, and we're gonna see if we can do it non-stop for about 45 seconds. That's harder than it sounds. We have on the arms are gonna be at the wrist. All right, so there should be no elbow gripping for this drill. And the other thing is the hips. Our hips gotta come up. So we're gonna set it up, come in here. You see where my butt is off? So we wanna get up, and we're here. My butt is off again. Still spaced out here. The more posture my partner does, like if he sits up, that's fine. Like that's where my butt goes to, my hips. If he were to stay at this height, try to stay at that height, my hips have to come way more up now, okay? So it's about focusing on keeping that up. Here, boom, here, okay, here. Keeping the wrist grips here, going down here. If you're swinging and you're not getting enough angle for this leg to come around, then you need to adjust it more and really focus more on the swing to really get up. And a lot of the times, if you don't have if you feel like you don't have enough distance for your leg to get around, that probably just means your butt is low and your hips are low. I'm not gonna really be able to do this very well unless I come up here. Now it's gonna be way better. All right, let's continue. You've messed up a lot. You've made all the mistakes, and now you're here. You're in big trouble. You're about to get armbar. There's a lot of things you can do to try to buy time. You know, you can cross your own arms, you can grab your lapel and try to control this. There's a lot of things you can do to waste time, but the more time you waste here, you're gonna tire your arms out, will tire out before this person's whole body tires out. Because they're using their core, their chest, their shoulders, everything to control and to pull this away, and you're just using arm muscle. So some people just feel comfortable just staying here, but that's a losing battle. It's a sinking ship. Yeah, so you don't want to stay here for so long. So what we're gonna do is focus on the very basic armbar escape here. All right, you can grab your own sleeves if you want. Here is fine. Here is fine. Let's just work with S grip for now. Okay. So he has the arm secure. What I'm going to do is I'm going to switch my hips a little bit to my left here to try to get my elbow under this foot or next to the foot. My hips are to the side. I'm going to push and get that leg. Once I get that leg, as soon as I turn in this way, in this transition period coming over here, and as long as I'm pulling this out, I'm usually going to end up making space here a little bit. So I'm coming in here and I can get this elbow down. Once your elbow is just past the crotch area, it's almost impossible to get armbar because they need that fulcrum. They need the hips crotch as the fulcrum for the armbar. So here he can armbar me. Here he cannot armbar me. Make sense? Okay, so we're here. We got the S grip. They're getting the armbar. All right, I'm gonna come here, get my elbow in, come to the side, push, trap. And I'm gonna use that. I don't wanna just get the foot. I wanna get a lot of leg and really pull it. Look at all that space that was just created by where my elbow is. Now here, you might need to just wiggle. Don't like fight. They're gonna get elbowed in the crotch more than it's gonna affect you. Yeah, so you're gonna get some space. Yeah. And just wiggle. So the point is, in that period, with you controlling this leg and pushing that away, making the space, you're gonna be able to get to here. Okay? You're not out of the woods yet. But once you're here, if you come up, you know, there's all sorts of things you can do to control. But that's gonna kind of be other techniques for other days. But we're just gonna get out of the armbar. Let's do it one more time. Okay, we're just working with the basic S grip. Okay. Part of the reason I'm suggesting S grip has more to do with my arm length than anything. Because if I do my lapels, now my elbow span is shorter. It's gonna be harder for me to get down here. If I'm here, you see that distance from my elbow? Less to work with, more to work with. Okay, so here, coming here, pushing that down, getting a much leg, and then fighting to get that elbow out. Okay? I don't want you ending the drill here, because you're kind of in the middle of something. What I want you to do at the very least is to end the drill where you have some degree of posture. Okay? I'm in danger here still though. I have one arm in, one arm out, so let's say finish it with either both arms out, or if you want both arms in. Always both arms in or both arms out. Anything in between might end up in a triangle if you can get this leg out. Or he can more in me here. Yeah. So here, get that out. This is, let's just say end it here. Okay? You're crushing the guard that they might have. Any questions? No? All right, just do 5 to each side. Okay? And then switch top bottom. Go when you're ready. Okay. So here. All right, we got our S grip. He's got the armbar going. We're doing our best to get this here. And so now we get here, but now what? Now he's really tight.
and I can't get my elbow out for anything, right? Obviously you don't want to stay here forever. So let's transition to a stacking option from here. So if I'm able to come up already, right? Then I can come up to here, okay? And my objective here is to crush. I'm gonna grab this rappel on this side, and I'm gonna bring it across his throat. Maybe, if it's tight enough, maybe they'll just let go because they'll maybe get choked out. Most people won't get choked out. This is more of a distraction. But once you're here, now you're distracting with the neck, and you're getting this out. So it's distract. You're not really worried about this. I'm not. He might be, because it's gonna be really uncomfortable. Okay, it's here, palm down, and it's just coming right across and elbow to the mat. I mean, if he does nothing, he'll probably get choked out. But they'll probably let go of one of their hands to start defending, and that's when you'll get a little more flexibility to get this elbow out. And then once the elbow is out, he's stacked, right? Because you want to make this really uncomfortable for them here. Okay, so he's stacked, you get this elbow out, now you can focus on, other stuff. Take it to the side. So let's just do one to each side with a stack. Okay, so your partner starts escaping, they get your leg into their legs, but now real tight. You're not gonna let them get that elbow out. Then they're gonna practice stacking you up and really trying to squish you, because that just makes it really uncomfortable. And then if that's not enough to get them to let go of the arm, then you come in, you grab, and you bring your elbow down to the other side. That's a distraction, okay? In the meantime, you're like, yeah, that sucks, and then you get this out, okay? Good, one time to each side, let's go.